When Chelsea and Peter's wedding preparations were in full swing, she never anticipated the heartbreak that awaited her. Returning home to find her life in disarray, Chelsea embarks on a journey of love, betrayal, and unexpected truths that leave her questioning everything she once believed. I'm Chelsea, a 28-year-old woman who thought she had everything figured out. My fiancé Peter and I had been together for over 4 years, and we were planning to get married in 3 months. Wedding preparations were in full swing and everything seemed perfect. But, in hindsight, there were always shadows lurking, mainly his mom, Debbie. She never liked me, and she made no effort to hide it. I remember the first time Peter brought me to his parents' house. Debbie looked me up and down and then turned to Peter with a tight smile. "Oh, she's nice." From then on, it was a constant uphill battle. She'd make little jabs, like when I cooked dinner for them. She'd say, "It's good, Chelsea." Not quite like how Peter likes it, but good. Peter always brushed it off, saying, "She'll come around. Just give her time," but 4 years later, I was still waiting. Fast forward to a day that started like any other. I was excited because we had finally chosen the venue for our wedding. I was planning to tell Peter all about it as soon as I got home from work. As I approached our apartment, though, my heart sank. There were suitcases on the doorstep, my suitcases. "Is this some kind of joke?" I muttered under my breath. I dropped my bags and rushed to the door. It was unlocked. Inside, everything felt eerily quiet. My calls to Peter went straight to voicemail. Panic started to rise. I needed answers. I heard a noise from upstairs and followed it, my mind racing with possibilities. As I reached our bedroom, there she was, Debbie, rifling through our closet. "Debbie, what the hell is going on? Why is my stuff outside?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. She turned to me with a smug smile, noticing the phone in my hand. "Oh, look who's here. Chelsea, darling, I see you're trying to reach Peter. Well, good luck with that, because he's done with you. He's moving to another house without you, and the wedding is cancelled." I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. Cancelled? What are you talking about? Where is Peter? Debbie crossed her arms, looking triumphant. "He doesn't want to see you. You're not welcome here anymore." "I don't believe you," I said, staring at Debbie, who still looked as smug as ever. My heart pounded as I stumbled out of the apartment. I had to find Peter and get some answers. I drove to his parents' house, hoping against hope that this was all some terrible misunderstanding. As I pulled up to the house, I saw Peter's car in the driveway. I felt a surge of relief. At least he was here. I ran to the door and burst in without knocking. "Peter! Peter! Where are you?" I called out desperately. From the living room, I heard voices. I walked in to find Peter sitting on the couch with another woman next to him. My heart sank further when I recognized her, Jennifer, the daughter of Debbie's best friend, Maura. Debbie always wanted Peter to be with Jennifer, not me. "Peter, what is going on?" I demanded, my voice breaking. He looked up at me with cold eyes. "You cheated on me, Chelsea. I have the pictures to prove it." My mind went blank. "What?" "I never cheated on you. What pictures?" Peter stood up, thrusting a set of photos at me. The pictures showed me with a man I had never seen or met in my entire life. I was dumbfounded. How could this be possible? "Peter, these pictures are fake. I don't know this man. You have to believe me. You know I'd never do that to you," I pleaded. Jennifer stayed silent, but I could see the satisfaction in her eyes. Peter shook his head. "I can't trust you anymore, Chelsea. It's over." Peter's words cut through me like a knife. "Peter, this is insane. You know me better than this. How could you let some fake photos destroy everything we've built?" "You've tainted your character, Chelsea," he spat, his voice full of disgust. "You've been fooling me for God knows how long. I don't even know who you are anymore." I could feel the fury and sorrow bubbling up inside me. All the years we spent together, the dreams we shared, were crashing down around me because of a lie. "How can you say that? After everything we've been through, you're just throwing it all away over some fabricated evidence." Peter looked away. unable to meet my eyes. I can't take the risk. I can't marry someone I can't trust. The injustice of it all overwhelmed me. I had been nothing but loyal and loving to him, and this was my reward. "You're making a huge mistake," I said, my voice trembling with anger and sadness. Without thinking, I slapped him across the face. He stood there, stunned, as I turned and walked out, tears streaming down my face. 2 years had passed since that gut-wrenching day. The memory still stung, but life had moved on, and so had I. I had picked up the pieces and started fresh, but the small town we lived in had a way of keeping everyone's business alive. The rumors about what really happened started circulating a few months ago, and they reached my ears like a balm on an old wound. It all began at my office, where I continued to work while pursuing my degree. I always wanted to resume my higher studies, and the chaos of my personal life pushed me to make that dream a reality. One afternoon, I was working on a project when a colleague, Lisa, came over. "Chelsea, did you hear about Peter and Jennifer?" she asked, her voice low. I looked up, my interest piqued. "No, what happened?" Lisa glanced around before leaning in. "They split up. Jennifer divorced him and took half of everything. But that's not all. Turns out, Debbie had falsified those photos of you. She sent them to Peter to break you two up." My heart skipped a beat. Could it be true? How did you find out? "Word gets around, you know. Debbie bragged about it to a friend, and now everyone knows. Karma's a real thing," Chelsea, Lisa said, shaking her head. I felt a wave of relief and anger wash over me. I knew it. But why now? Why did it all come out now? Lisa shrugged. Debbie got careless. And Jennifer, well, she wasn't the saint Debbie made her out to be. She took Peter for everything he had. The news was a strange comfort. It didn't erase the pain, but it validated my innocence. "Thanks for telling me, Lisa." I left the office that day with a sense of closure. As I walked home, I thought about how different my life had become. I was living in a small but cozy apartment, finishing my degree, and had a supportive circle of friends who stood by me through thick and thin. One evening, I decided to visit a local bar with a few friends. As we were chatting and laughing, I noticed Peter walk in. He looked like a shadow of his former self. His eyes met mine, and for a moment the world seemed to stand still. He walked over hesitantly. "Chelsea, can we talk?" he asked, his voice filled with regret. I nodded, and we stepped outside into the cool evening air. "What do you want, Peter?" He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I owe you an apology. I was wrong. I should have trusted you. I can't believe I let my mom manipulate me like that." His words were a bitter reminder of the betrayal I felt. "You destroyed everything, Peter. All for what? Lies and manipulation." "I know, and I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know that I realize now what a mistake I made," he said, his voice cracking. I looked at him, seeing the remorse in his eyes. "Peter, it's too late. You made your choices, and so did I. I'm moving on with my life." He nodded, tears glistening in his eyes. "I understand. I'm so sorry." With that, I walked back inside, leaving him standing there in the cold. It was a small victory, but a necessary one. As time went on, the town continued to buzz with the fallout of Peter and Jennifer's failed marriage. Debbie, once the proud matriarch, was now a pariah, whispered about in corners and avoided at social gatherings. One day, as I was working at the office, Debbie walked in. She looked tired, defeated. She approached my desk where I was typing. "Chelsea, I want to apologize," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I looked at her. The woman who had caused me so much pain. "Why now, Debbie? What changed?" She sighed. "I lost everything, Chelsea. My son, my reputation. I just wanted what I thought was best for Peter, but I went about it all wrong." I nodded, feeling a sense of peace wash over me. It's not me you need to apologize to, Debbie. You need to make things right with your son." She nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "I will. Thank you, Chelsea." As she left, I realized that forgiveness doesn't always come with reconciliation, but it does bring peace. I had moved on, and life was looking brighter every day. And as for Peter and Debbie, they were living proof that karma always finds its way.